These are adjustable coilovers, designed to provide quick and simple adjustment of your vehicle's ride height. And the ones I installed on the CR-V are MaXpeedingrods coilovers, a controversial brand that has taken over the budget coilover sector. And we're here to find out, are they just expert marketers, or have they found the secret sauce to making a quality, affordable coilover? It's time to find out on this episode of MODNTUNE. Okay, before I forget, anyone out there can use my code MODNTUNE for 10% off their order at MaXpeedingrods.com. Which, if you were to order these coilovers along with these adjustable rear camber arms, that's an additional $50 off. So $450 for this setup shipped to your door is a hell of a deal if you ask me. Now that we have that out of the way, let's take a look at these adjustable rear camber arms. Overall, they seem to be pretty decent quality and exactly what I expected. This side is reverse thread and this other side is normal thread. And what that allows you to do is adjust this center turnbuckle to change the length to get the camber dialed in just right. There's also this brochure with a little more information on the company, and it shows some of their other products that they offer, like these connecting rods, turbochargers, coilovers, control arms, and much more. That's enough with the show and tell. Time to get these on the car and get it figured out. Now, what exactly is camber anyways? Camber refers to the angle of the tires relative to a vertical line. Positive camber means the top of the tire tilts outward away from the vehicle, and negative camber means the top tilts inwards. It's much more common to have a few degrees of negative camber for best handling characteristics. Our problem is we have too much negative camber. By adding coilovers and lowering the car, the entire geometry of the suspension is thrown off. So by adding these adjustable arms, we're able to bring that geometry closer to factory specs. Alright, time to remove this non-adjustable arm. Alright guys, I'm getting ready to install this. I just want to get this at the right length, or what I think is going to be the best length. So basically what I did here is I took the old one, I just drew some chalk lines on where that location is, and then we're just going to go a little bit past that with our new one here. So the best way to spin these in and out is just by spinning this centerpiece so both of them go out equally. Because if you do one at a time, it's going to be hard to get them equally. So anyways, I'm just going to spin this. And I think I'm just going to get the edge of that rubber bushing onto the mark there for length. And I put these marks here because I wanted to spin it all the way out to make sure we still had enough thread inside, which we did. So that looks pretty good there. We just have to put our jam nuts on. And this one should be ready to put on the car. We'll probably need to adjust it later, but we'll see where that gets us. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. We're going to turn this. Alright, check it out here. Alright, these are good to go. Alright guys, check this out. These look absolutely amazing. The tires are actually straight up and down now like they're supposed to be, and it makes a huge difference in the overall appearance as well. And I got them installed in record time. It was super easy. Only 3 bolts on each side and we were good to go. We're not done yet though. There's a couple mods that I want to do on the front end. So I'm going to get this thing turned around and we'll get those tackled. Alright guys, you're probably wondering why I have the CRV in the air and why do I have the welder out. Well, there's a couple things that I want to accomplish while the CRV is up here. One is we need to clearance this inner fender. You can see where it's been rubbing. So what I'm going to do is just bash it in with a hammer. This isn't really an area that you want to cut because there's a bunch of layered metal right there and that would be like creating an open wound. And while I was under there, I also saw a little spot up here, so I'll give that a few whacks as well, but I don't think that one's as bad. We're maxed out on height for these coilovers, so there's not much I can do in that department. And then also, I want to get my front sway bar installed. I've been driving it around and it just feels a little more floaty than I like. The problem is, and why I didn't install it before, is two of the mounting holes on one side are not good. The bolt broke off in the nut. So what I'm going to be doing instead in the meantime is I'm going to be welding that side on. Just a quick little weld that I can easily cut off if I ever need to take it off. So that is the plan, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the progress so far. I have the sway bar up here and partially installed. I got the bracket bolted in on this side with the new bushing. And I have the end links installed as well. And while I was down here, I did notice our axle is throwing grease right here. I did reuse that axle boot band, which is why I'm guessing that happened. So we'll have to come back to that. But for now, we're going to go to the other side and I'll get that other bracket welded in. Alright guys, we're over here on the other side. It's kind of hard to film, but I'll do my best. So these bolt holes are broken off in here. You can see right there. And then on this side, it's broken off as well. And that's actually an extractor bit that's stuck in there when I tried to fix that. So that's why we're not going to be messing with that anymore. So the way these are designed is this bushing is actually fatter than the bracket, and the bolts are supposed to pull it in. Well, it's kind of hard to weld that with that big gap there. So I think what I'm going to do is tack this inside here, and then I'll have to use a jack and just push that up against there so it's tight. That's the plan at least, so let's go ahead and see if it works. Okay, I'm just getting ready to weld this up. I have the jack in place, and what I'm going to do is weld this side first, and I already scratched the paint off there so I can get a good arc. And once that's welded, I'll be able to move the jack, and I'll put like a socket or something in between here and jack that up towards the subframe so I can weld that. Alright, I got the bracket welded in and it turned out pretty good. I'm a little annoyed it didn't record when I did the first weld, but it is what it is. It's all done now and good to go. I'm going to have to hit it with a little spray paint so it doesn't rust. And I already went ahead and installed that end link as well. Also, on a side note, can someone tell me why this inner fender is so sticky? I undercoated this whole thing and it's just super sticky. I'm wondering if that factory undercoating is bleeding through. I never took that off, but I did break the whole surface, so I don't know if this is just going to keep happening, but pretty annoying. So let's just hit it with some more of this stuff. Alright, that actually went better than expected, and I should have plenty of room to turn my tires now. This is a lot harder because I have to swing it left-handed and feels like I'm hitting a jelly donut. Alright, I had another recording malfunction, so alright, we're making a little progress on the CRV. I have that sway bar installed and looking pretty good. I have that inner fender clearance. I'm really glad that stuff is done. While we're over here, I'll talk about this area a little bit. It looks a little bit unfinished. What I'm going to be doing is 3D scanning this and 3D printing a filler piece that's going to clean that up a lot, along with provisions for mud flaps and possibly an inner fender. And then there's this area right here. I'm missing the bracket that would typically push this out a little bit. It no longer fits with the customization I did, so I'll have to address that at some point. But for now, I'm going to get the wheels back on it, get it back on the ground, and I'm going to be doing a Instagram alignment, and I'll tell you what I mean by that in a minute. Alright, I'm going to be doing a garage alignment on this CRV. I saw this on Instagram and it looked pretty straightforward, so I thought I would give it a shot. Basically, I put a string around all 4 tires, and what that is going to allow me to do is be able to see if it's straight or not. And you can see a little bulge in the string on this side. And then this side is perfectly straight with the string just barely touching the tire. I could turn the wheel and make this side straight, but then the other side would be off. So one of the sides needs to come in, and the way I'm going to determine that is I'm going to take these wheels off, I'll measure each tie rod, and whichever one's longer, that's the one that's going to come in. So I'm going to go ahead and get the wheels off and give it a shot. Alright, I'm getting ready to adjust this tie rod, and I just moved the nut all the way back and measured this distance, and we have about 13/16. On the other side we have about 11/16, so it's about an 1/8 inch shorter on that side. So we're going to turn this one in, just whatever feels right, and then I'll probably do a few turns on the other side just because. So to be honest, I don't know what that's going to do for me, but we'll just have to do trial and error. But there's that side, and then I'll do the other side a few turns, and then I'll get the string back on. Alright, I got it back on the ground, and it's looking a lot better, but it looks like I went a little too far. So this one, maybe like a 1/16 gap. And then over here, it's a lot bigger gap, maybe like 1/8 inch, 3/16. So it's not terrible. I could probably run it like this, but I'm going to tweak that one side, the passenger side, just a little bit. Alright guys, I turned that passenger side in one more turn, and it is just barely touching the tire on this side. And we'll go check over here. And then this side is just barely touching the tire. So I think this string method actually worked pretty good. We'll have to test it out, but not bad for costing no money at all. Okay, I just got done taking this CRV for a spin, and it is a night and day difference with that sway bar on there. It handles so much better, and it just feels much more like how a Honda should feel. However, I gotta make a couple more tweaks still. I need to clearance those inner fenders just a little bit more. I got a little bit of rubbish, and we might as well adjust the rear camber arms while we're at it. I want to get those things a little bit more vertical. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm going to adjust these rear camber arms, which you can do while it's still in the car. So I'm just going to turn it a certain number of turns, and then I'll have to remember that for the other side as well. I'm guessing like 4 turns. So that's 1 turn. 2 turns. That's 3 turns. We'll go 1 more. Alright, that was 4 turns. Hopefully that's not too much. But we'll have to see. Put the jam nuts back on. Alright, 4 turns on this side. Where's our logo? Our logo is right here. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. This way. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. So alright, this one's good to go. Alright guys, welcome to the driving portion of the video where we're going to be talking about the MaXpeedingrods coilovers and my opinion on them. So this is just all vlog style, off the cuff, so bear with me. I do prefer the garage and the controlled environment. But basically we got a couple missions we're gonna accomplish. First I have to go to the post office, and then I have to go to UPS, and then we're gonna wash the blue off the white lettering on my tires at the Pay and Spray. So when we get to the post office, I'm gonna change the dampening to all the way one direction, soft or hard, and we'll try it out. Right now it's right in the middle, and it's not too bad. So it's also like 90 degrees right now. I don't have AC. I have the windows up so you guys can hear me, so fun times. But as far as the current setting on the dampening, I would say, I'll say it's a little bouncier than a stock ride, but when you have coilovers, these are just sacrifices that you have to make. And I'm not trying to make excuses, but that's just how it is. So we're arriving at the post office right now. So I'm gonna deliver my packages and change the dampening and go from there. Alright, I just set that one, and then I'm going to set this one all the way to hard. So that's hard. These are 24 ways, so that's 24 clicks. And we are all the way to the hard setting, so I'll try that out. Alright, we're going to change these. And here's the engine bay for anyone who hasn't seen it in a while. Alright guys, we got the dampening set all the way to hard. And we're on the way to the UPS store. Right now we're merging onto a busier road. The windows are down, but it's just too hot, so I hope it's not too noisy. I'll try to talk loud. But overall, I haven't hit many bumps, so I can't really tell a difference right now. But guys, that sway bar edition, money. Like, I have to put such little input into the steering, and it just responds right away. So that is really good. But these coilovers, they, in my opinion, ride great. And that brings us back to the question about MaXpeedingrods. Are they just good marketers, or do they know what they're doing? And I'd say it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, for them to, you could call it grassroots marketing, giving parts to creators like me, who are very small. See, the thing with giving small creators stuff is, like, I actually care. I want to, you know, make a decent video for MaXpeedingrods. So, I mean, they have their reputation. I just saw on the forums the other day, somebody was complaining. They said they were just way too bouncy, but they also admitted that they bought the absolute lowest tier with no dampening function. So what do you expect? That tier is for, like, basically cosmetics. If you want to be be slammed on a budget, which there's a lot of kids out there that do, those are the ones you get. Maybe you just take it to the track or on the weekends and you don't want to spend a lot of money. They're offering a product at a price point that's low, so that's what you get. You should be happy that they're at least offering it. Personally, I would never buy that. I would get the better ones, because it's pretty clear to me that these are 100% dailyable, usable coilovers. So that's my opinion. I'd definitely get them in a heartbeat. And I'd hate to say it, but back in my day, we didn't have all these options. My first set of coilovers was from a company called Drop Zone, and I paid $450 back then, and they were almost impossible to install. I got it eventually, but I actually had to assemble them, and I mean, these are just light years ahead of that. So just for a little context for you younger guys, these are pretty decent. And now that I'm hitting more bumps, I can definitely feel the stiffness more, but it's also less bouncy. So this would be like a track setting. I would definitely put it completely stiff. And also, if you want to daily with a little less bounciness, see, the fun thing about being in front wheel drive mode only is I get to squeak the tires pretty much whenever I want. And the awesome thing about the CRV is you can rip it around town pretty hard, and to anybody outside it looks like you're going 30 miles an hour, so it's a win-win. But as I've been working on this and living with it a bit more, I'm getting more comfortable with it, and it's definitely, I'm wearing it in like a shoe, and it's definitely getting better. There we go, 5 minutes of me just rambling. But over a period of time. So I just hit some railroad tracks, some pretty gnarly ones, and really not even an issue. So I am definitely loving the coilovers. I do wish the front went up like another ½ inch to an inch. That would be perfect. I am still getting a tiny bit of rubbing, not nearly as bad as before, but something I can deal with. So I'll park over here so we can readjust the dampening to all the way soft, and we'll try that out. Hopefully we have enough battery and camera memory for the rest of this video. Alright, let's go all the way soft. So you want to count it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That was 24. Now this side all the way soft. Let's deliver these packages and be on our way. Check out those camberless wheels, looking good. Alright guys, she's set at the softest setting and we're on our way to clean our tires. We're not touching any other part of the vehicle. This car has never been wet. since the rebuild, and there's more waterproofing that I still want to do, so we're just gonna clean the tires. But yeah, as far, yeah, she definitely feels a little softer. We're about to go through a roundabout racetrack right now, so let's get it done. This would literally be the worst area to break down in, and just give her. Oh yeah. Handles like a dream, boys. Guys, did you know I literally built this car from scratch? Just thought I'd let you know. And MaXpeedingrods also has front camber upper arms, which I desperately need, but they were out of stock. So when you guys get that, send me some. Then we'll be fully kitted out with MaXpeedingrods. And also, I do not have a rear sway bar because my stock one is, I cut it to get it out. And the stock rear sway bar is literally like 1/4 inch, 3/8 thickness. So I'm not sure how much it's doing. And then there's still the drive shaft and the rear diff, which I'm not really too hurried on. It's summer right now and it's not like you need it, and that's just gonna give parasitic draw for gas mileage and stuff, so I don't see the point. And you can't, I think you can still squeak the tires, because the way the Honda 4-wheel drive works is it's got a viscous coupler, so it doesn't engage until it slips. So yeah. But anyways, it is super hot out right now, just to remind you. But we're getting it done. I can see the Pro Car Wash from here. This light always takes forever. I literally hate coming over to this area, personally. Alright, here we go. Yeah, soft. I don't know. We'll have to do some more testing. I didn't hit a lot of bumps. Okay. Alright, we're at the wash. I think if it's softer, you're gonna have more of that bouncier feel. So I'll probably put it back to like mid hard. Alright, we're pulling in. Let me grab you. So far, so good. Alright, we're gonna go foam brush. this is gonna be the last talking portion of the video. We're gonna go to a park, shine up the tires, take a few beauty shots, and call it good. So I take back what I said earlier. I do like it on the softer setting. It seems to absorb the big bounces more, or the big bumps I should say. Like I just went over a super potholed road and it did it pretty much no problem. So maybe I'll do like 8 clicks above the softest is probably where I'm gonna set it. So that's MaXpeedingrods for you, and I'll just say if there's any other companies out there that want to send me stuff, contact me in the email below. And also, one thing that I need to do more of is promote my own business, which is a 3D printing business. I make things like these cup holders here. That's going to be linked below as well. So anything you see, well, I don't show a lot, but I will show more. I have a bunch of different CRV stuff, and you'll have to check out the website. And then one more thing that I've decided to do is I've been running my business under the name 3D Print Seller, which I'm still going to retain. That's the name of my Etsy store and everything, but my overall business is going to be called MODNTUNE. That's going to be the umbrella of my businesses going forward. So all my 3D printed stuff, I'm not going to be like pigeonholed into just 3D printed items. And then another thing is, I just went to the junkyard and hit the mother load 5 CRVs that I've just been stripping down and taking apart, so I'll probably be doing a video on that. Where was I? I don't know, I lost track, but I think I did pretty good so far with my ADHD and staying focused. And yeah, I guess videos, there's like so many things I want to do, so I end up doing nothing. But I'm gonna try to stay focused. I want to branch off the CRV, but the CRV content's just getting good. There's like a bunch more stuff I want to do to this thing, and yeah. So I'm just gonna pull into this park. There's not a lot of good spots. Actually, guys, I've decided not to go to the park. There's some people standing around, and I don't like that. So we're gonna go to my tried and true spot where I finished off my build series. We'll get some tire shine on and some beauty shots and call her a day. So I'll pick back up there. Alright guys, so I just pulled into this spot here to do the tires, and something happened. This freaking bolt for my upper A-arm that goes down on the, it goes like right here, that came out. So my A-arm is just floating on this side, which sucks pretty bad. It is very lucky that I'm in a secluded spot, so there's that, but I guess I think I can limp it home like that. I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to cause any more damage, but I really don't want to call a tow truck, even though I do have roadside assistance. That really sucks, but as long as we're over here, I'm gonna get some tire shine on these and take a couple shots. Guys, we're doing it. I'm making it home. I'm going like 20 miles an hour right now, but if you needed to know, you can drive your car on one upper camber arm bolt, upper control arm. So what an adventure. I am super overheated. There goes the GoPro mount. Can't wait to get home, but I really hope you guys have been liking my videos. I'm trying to get them out the best I can and do quality content. If you haven't, check out my second channel, MODNTUNE. I do a little more lax stuff there and like just other things that I don't want to put on the main channel. I mean, as long as I have you here, I'm not going anywhere. Lineup coming up, probably another CRV video next, and I'm also working on my Mercedes ML430, but I ran into a few snags on that. It has like a giant opening roof and I'm trying to fix that, and I don't really want to rush the Mercedes content because I want to do a good job. But yeah, that's about it, guys. If you could hit the like, hit the subscribe. I know everybody hates that, but it is proven that people do like after you say that. Like, they're more likely to do that. So it's just the way it psychologically works, and likes and comments and views, that's the currency on YouTube, so you gotta go for it. But I think I'm gonna end it there. Huge thanks to MaXpeedingrods for sending me these coilovers. They are a legit company. I wouldn't hesitate to get a set of these T6 coilovers. Don't cheap out. I mean, for how much the T6s cost, you're 100% getting the value for the money. And I went by, oh shoot, ah Jesus. All right, well, see you guys later.